Thank you, Phyllis. Good morning. My name is Joni Spain, and I'll be your service leader this morning. Welcome to Unity of Bloomington. At Unity, we offer practical, spiritual teachings that empower abundant and meaningful living. We're a center for spiritual growth, and we provide inspiration, tools, and practices that support people on their path. Please stand as you're able and join our Unity music team in song.
Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful 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 day. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. And every day I affirm and pray I'm blessed with everything I have. I release my fear, 'cause it's all so clear. I am held, I am loved, I am safe. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. And now I see what my life can be when I trust in the process and have faith. And now I know when I just let go that I have all I'll ever need. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well, all is well, all is well.
That one was a good one for me today. Please remain standing and join me in affirming our statement of being. Together, there is
There's only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. This power expresses life, love, wisdom and abundance through me. In it I live and move and have my being.
Please be seated. One way we empower abundant and meaningful living is by practicing our 5 basic principles. I'll state the principle and invite you to respond with the affirmation. God is all good and active in everything, everywhere.
God is.
I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and everyone.
I am.
I create my experiences by what I think, feel, do, and believe.
I create.
Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life.
I pray.
I do and give my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference.
I live.
And now I'll invite Reverend Lynette up for our moment with the children.
Thank you. Well, once again, you're all my children this morning. Do we recognize this? Although I thought it's a plastic. Isn't it funny how we still call them glasses even when they're not made out of glass? And then I thought, well, I suppose it's a cup. How much do you think this cup weighs? I think this is 16 ounces, you think? I mean, that it holds 16 ounces, but how much do you think the cup weighs? 1 ounce? It's not very heavy. That's one of the advantages of plastics, is they're not as cumbersome and weighty as a glass. But you know what? It's not really how heavy this glass is that matters. What matters is how long you have to hold it and the position in which you hold it. You can hold it, it's not bothering me to hold it right now. And I don't think I'd drop it or lose it if I had to do this for another couple minutes. But how long do you think I would have to hold it before it started to get heavy? 3 minutes. Yeah. I'm kind of a comfort queen, so I think I could get uncomfortable. And then how long would it take before my arm really started to ache? 5 minutes. Yep, probably. And then Tana says it would only take 3 minutes. And then there's a point where my arm would tremble just from the exertion of holding this glass cup that weighs nearly nothing. So this is a lesson to us about stress, interestingly enough. Or I wasn't going to try to talk with the children, the chronological children, about stress, but about when we hold troublesome thoughts. The longer we hold them, the heavier they get, and the harder it is to pay attention to anything besides what we're holding on to. So what's the answer to this? Aha, there you go. Put it down. Well, we have a slide here that offers some suggestions, proven ideas for putting the glass down even when it's difficult. And these work at any age. You can, instead of holding on to these troublesome thoughts, you can write them down. Now, I have recommended this to people for years, and then I tried it myself. And now I really recommend it because it's amazing how putting your troubling thoughts on paper, the experts call it writing on emotional subjects, really is a stress reliever. You don't have to do anything with it, just write it down. Type it into your word processor, whatever it takes, getting it out. I tell people it's like getting a splinter out of your brain. So writing down your troublesome thoughts and then closing the book, let it be, is one way to put the glass down. You can call a supportive person. Instead of writing about your troublesome thoughts, you can talk about them. Just to get them out, just to let somebody know, and then you can put it down. You can take a walk in nature and think about something besides the glass that you've been holding. And actually, Dr. Gupta says the best thing you can do is take a walk with a supportive person and talk about your troubles. How about that? I love that. That's one of my favorite things to do. It also helps to cuddle with a furry friend because they will never criticize you or question why you're worried about that. They are unconditionally present with you, and sometimes that's all you need, is just somebody there to be with you. And finally, one of Zara Pelfrey's favorites is listening to empowering or uplifting music. Music works on a different part of our brain than the worrisome thoughts. So it kind of switches us into that other hemisphere, and it makes it much easier to relax, let go, release, and surrender. So keep that in mind, that you don't have to hold on to the glass forever. And remember, there are good strategies for how to put it down and release. Thank you.
Oh, come, little children, oh, come, one and all. Oh, come to the cradle in Bethlehem's stall. When Jesus the baby was born on that night, he taught us we all shine with heavenly light.
This year, Unity's annual theme is how to stay centered no matter what. Each month, we explore the role that one of the 12 powers plays in staying centered and experiencing inner peace, no matter what's occurring around us. This month, we're exploring the power of release. In the 12 Powers of Man, Charles Fillmore says, there must be renunciation, or letting go of old thoughts, before the new can find place in consciousness. In the spirit of gratitude, we release that which no longer serves our highest expression and open our hearts and minds to receive and experience the blessings in the world around us. Please join me in saying this month's affirmation together. Whatever I release will bless me. Just a couple of announcements today. We just want to remind you to stay after the service and help deck the halls, lend your creative energy and talents to making our chapel beautiful for this season of light and life. And I'd like to invite Roy Capio, our board treasurer, up to give us a solar panel update.
Good morning. Okay, I've made some notes, so got a lot of stuff to cover here with you. Before I go over the official news about the update on the solar panel array, I wanted to at least comment. I don't know how many people walk around the building or look at our property, but In the last couple days, we finalized our fall leaf cleanup. And I just want to let you know we have an excellent landscaping commitment with attention to detail, who has been with us now for a couple of years. And if you just take a look, you'll be impressed with what a beautiful job they've done. The other thing is that the whole building was power washed about a week or two ago, and they did an incredible job. If I told you how much we paid, you'd tell me that we've made a mistake, but it was an incredible bargain, and for a couple $100, the whole building was cleaned down. Particularly on this side, you have our Unity signage, and you could see all the dirt that was building up around it on the yellow background. It's all gone, and we didn't have to paint the building or anything. So we've done some nice things in the last couple months. And so now I'll give you some details about what's going on outside with the solar panels. As far as our membership's concerned and their commitment to the program thus far, we've raised just a little under $16,000 by membership commitments and donations. And it's pretty impressive. So I want to thank everybody that is here and is watching or whatever, and let them know that we appreciate your commitment. The whole project basically was running about $64,000, and that's what we've committed to with 75 panels. And with the investor that we had with Bill Todd, that reduced our financial commitment by almost 28%. So almost a third of the total cost was defrayed by by Bill Todd as the way that we set this up, which was completely legal. With what's remaining, about 72%, we basically committed to that out of our money market, and by the $15,000 donations, or almost $16,000 donations, basically that plus the investor's commitment cuts our remaining cost in half. So we've gone already from $64,000 to $32,000. And so that's really great. What we're going to do next week is we're going to, on Tuesday, they're going to put what are called screws, but they're going to be the metal piers that are going to go into the ground that'll hold the metal brackets that hold all the solar panels. And that will be done by Tuesday evening, and on Wednesday morning, they're going to put in a lead wire which will connect the panel system to this building, to our church. It won't be live, obviously, but it will be ready to go when we do that. On Thursday and Friday and Saturday, our landscaper, attention to detail, will be involved with excavating on the surface, at least the area where the screws will be placed on Tuesday. And we'll cut the grass down. We're going to kill the grass, and then we're going to also put down some landscaping fabric so that the sun will hopefully reduce or eliminate the possible future grass. And then on top of that, we're going to put about 2 to 4 inches of stone. So even before the panels go up, all the landscaping will be completed. The only thing that will not have been done, and we're going to wait until after the panels have been installed, we'll have 3 boulders that will be placed between the east wall of the panels where we have our driveway coming down over here. And between the driveway edge and the beginning of the solar panels, there'll be 3 boulders, and that will be hopefully to stop anything that's not premeditated, but anybody that'd go off the road, they'd hit the boulder before they hit our panels. We could have gotten like a highway barrier and whatever, but that would cost $5,000 to $10,000, and it just would be a waste of money, I think. So we'll keep an eye on that, and hopefully that will be good enough. And we are going to also insure it with our blanket policy with the church, so that if anything were to happen, excluding the deductible, we'll have benefits on that. So that's basically it. So by the 17th day of December, which is a Friday, unless the weather doesn't allow it, we will have the wires, electrical wires to the building disconnected. They'll come in and connect the solar panel array to the new wiring system into the church, and then they'll turn on the power later that day, weather permitting, And on the 17th day of December, at the end of the day, hopefully we'll have activated our new system. That's about it.
Thank you so much, Roy. Today is the first Sunday of Advent, a word that means coming. The Christian Church observes this season beginning 4 Sundays before Christmas and ending on Christmas Eve. It is a time of spiritual preparation for the celebration of the birth of Jesus. This season begins today, and we light the first candle. We light the first candle. We lit the first candle in practice.
Isn't the candle lit in your consciousness?
It is.
This is just to remind us of that. It worked earlier.
Did.
I have another one.
This candle stands for faith and hope and is known as the prophet's candle. It represents the people who foresaw the coming of Christ, the Messiah, long before the birth of Jesus, with hope and faith. Not coincidentally, our word today is faith. Our affirmation is, this Advent, my hope leads me to unwavering faith in God. And now our daily word. My belief in goodness of the world, others, myself, and God begins with hope. Maybe hope is all I can muster after a period of doubt or disappointment. As I feel hopeful, I begin to believe that new possibilities and better outcomes are available to me. My hopeful feelings lead to faith, a certainty that the goodness I could only sense before is the actual nature of life. With faith, I now direct my thoughts toward goodness, wholeness, and my heart's desires. With gratitude for my awakening, I use faith to dismantle doubt and limitation. I hold only the best thoughts for myself. I know and feel in the depths of my soul that the good I desire is already mine. With unwavering faith and deep gratitude, I claim it now. And from Psalm 62, verse 5, for God alone my soul waits in silence, for my hope is from him. Now we'll join together in speaking the affirmation aloud. Together, this Advent, my hope leads me to unwavering faith in God. And now repeat it to yourself silently. Our musical inspiration will be provided by our Unity music team, and today's speaker is our spiritual ministry co-coordinator, Reverend Lynette Carlson.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, every get ready, my soul. I'm diving in, get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. And here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. And here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. And here I stand, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in, get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Thank you, Ginger. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to let the oppressed go free, and to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord. In this passage from the 4th chapter of Luke, Jesus enters the synagogue. They hand him the Torah, and he reads this passage. And it defines his mission. It's the opening of his ministry. It's kind of his coming out, if you will. Preaching good news, releasing captives, restoring sight to those who can't see, freeing the oppressed, all in a year of the Lord's favor. This is our mission too. And it applies to our internal state as well as to our external conditions. I think the most controversial thing that Jesus did that morning was when he said, "Today, this scripture has been fulfilled in your hearing." Because this was in his hometown synagogue, and the people who knew him were like, "What? That's Joseph's boy. What's he talking about?" I mean, he might be a fine finished woodworker, but I don't know about this freeing the oppressed stuff. So Jesus doesn't let that slow him down very much. On this first Sunday in Advent, we affirm our hope and faith in this promise of release and restoration as we prepare for another celebration of the birth of the Christ light and the new year that will follow soon after. We affirm that this coming year will be just, whole, and prosperous. Mark Hayes, who shares his ministry through the website truthunity.net, refers to this passage that from the 4th chapter of Luke as Unity's Emancipation Proclamation. He notes that the central focus of this passage is on release and wholeness. The good news begins with release from captivity and oppression, and it makes way for wholeness, restoration of sight, the restoration of right relationships. We too place at the center of our spiritual formation the release of that which oppresses us and captures us: greed, grudges, and grandeur. And we find ourselves restored and made whole to fully express our highest good. Hayes continues, it may just be that release and wholeness is the subtle, simple foundation of all spiritual growth. And to illustrate, he shares this affirmation from Catherine Ponder's book, The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. I fully and freely forgive. I loose and let go. I let go and let God's love do its perfect work in me, through me, for me. I let go and let God's love do its perfect work in the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious activities of my mind, body, and affairs. I give thanks that peace, health, plenty, and happiness now reign supreme in me and my world. Amen. Yeah, that sounds good. While many folks in this country equate Christmas with the giving and receiving of material gifts, we who value consciousness more highly than material presents know that the truth is much deeper than can be contained in bows and wrapping paper. We may still prepare for Christmas with outward activity by decorating and shopping and wrapping presents. We're going to decorate the chapel here today after the service. But one reason we observe Advent as this season of expectant waiting prior to Christmas is to remind ourselves of the importance of our inner preparation. How can we ready ourselves for the light of life that is born in the midst of the darkest time of year? Let's think about what it means to clean house spiritually. And I think this is especially important during this season, in part because all the music, the decorations, the activities cannot help but evoke memories of Advent and Christmas past. If you stop and think about it, there are literally hundreds of memories, incidents, and occasions from Christmases past that can feed a negative attitude toward this holiday season. I talk to a lot of people who say in confidence, I hate this time of year. They can't say it out loud because we don't really allow that. You get called Scrooge or Grinch or some other negative character. But for people who have been hurt by the ones closest to them, Christmas was just another opportunity for the abusers. And that's very difficult. Mark Hayes characterizes the things, the negative attitudes toward this holiday time of year as greed, grudges, and grandeur. Well, I'm always intrigued by alliteration, so I added to it grief, grievances, and guilt, as well as dread and depression, and doing it the way we always have. Those are just some of the things that get in our way as we anticipate this time of year. So there are too many opportunities for negativity. So how do we handle that? Well, it is the month of release, so you know I'm going to tell you, just let it go. If only it were that easy. Last week I shared Charles Fillmore's recommendation, don't imagine anything but good. And I think that's a great motto to live by. However, it is not something that happens automatically. You can't just get up in the morning and say, okay, I'm not going to imagine anything but good, and then expect that to be your reality that day or any day. But we have an answer to that. One of the greatest gifts of unity teaching is the truth that through the power of the Christ presence within us, our minds are under our conscious control. I still wonder what my adolescence would have been like if I'd ever gotten a clue about that. But nothing I encountered in the first 20 years or so gave me any inkling that I wasn't a victim of whatever passed through my gray matter. We must know deeply this truth, that as we are centered with our source, we have what it takes to choose what goes through our minds. We have to believe in our capability to practice it and live this truth in order to use effectively any of the 12 powers. But that's nowhere more true than it is with the power of release and elimination. In the Revealing Word, which is a wonderful source book that compiles an alphabetical treasury of Charles Fillmore's wisdom, we read that one of the axiomatic truths of metaphysics is that thoughts are things. That the mind marshals its faculties and literally makes into living entities the thoughts that it entertains is also a foregone conclusion. Charles goes on that the word things expresses very poorly the active and very vital character of the thoughts to which the mind gives life, substance, and intelligence. We see many inanimate things, like that glass I was holding up earlier. If we compare our creative thoughts with those things, those material things around us, we get an inferior conception of the marvelous ability of our mind in its creative capacity. Thought is controlled by the right use of affirmations and denials, by the power of the mind to accept and reject. The power of the mind is the I am, Charles writes, and it is through the avenue of expression that thought control, dominion, and mastery are obtained. Thoughts are controlled by the mind through its power to say yes or no. To hold a thought is to affirm or deny a certain proposition both mentally and audibly, out loud, until the logic of the mind is satisfied and spiritual realization is attained. So to some extent, we talk ourselves into the greater truth. I know other people have talked me into all sorts of things, so it seems only right that I can talk myself into things. And I have an example. A few years ago, I came home from my family's celebration of Christmas feeling cheated as I unpacked the trunk of my car. It seemed like I had left with a full load, and I returned with a handful. And as I can still remember standing at the back of my car in the garage saying, something's wrong with this picture. It dawned on me in that moment that I was putting way more effort into our Christmas gift exchange than anyone else in my family, and that thought caught my attention because nobody was requiring that of me. That was my choice. And I don't really care all that much about stuff, the physical gifts that we give and receive. I had all the stuff I needed and more. So I kind of caught myself like, what's the problem? What's going on here? Well, in my family system, it would have been easy to blame them, that they weren't doing enough. But even if that were true, that's about them. I was trying to figure out what was going on with me. I didn't immediately come up with the error thought that fueled my dis-ease in this case, but I continued to pick at it like a broken tooth that you just can't leave alone. I got curious about my assumptions and the expectations surrounding Christmas gift giving. And it finally occurred to me that the effort, the energy I was putting into my family Christmas celebration was significantly out of proportion with what everybody else was doing. Now, it dawned on me that the fact that they all live in the same county in central Illinois, and I am 4 hours east of them, might have played into this. That maybe I was trying to make up for moving away from home. Maybe I wanted to leave them with stuff so they'd remember me and not just wipe me out of their family picture, so to speak. But I also realized that if I was dissatisfied with what I was doing, that I was the one who could change it. And I could choose to release it. So I did. And I realized that I was engaged in this unconscious competition. I was going to do Christmas better than anybody else. And I won every year, but that left me feeling like a loser, like I'd been cheated somehow. So I thought, oh, I am smart enough to quit playing a losing game. I mean, it only took me probably 45 years. I don't know that I was playing that same game the whole time. But instead, to satisfy my compulsive creativity, I've been making hats and scarves for Afghani refugees at Camp Pendleton and just giving them away. I don't expect anything in return, so I don't have that, this is an even feeling. I never expected it to be. And I go and enjoy time with my family at Christmas, and I don't worry about the distribution of gift giving in that process. So when you think about getting your soul ready for Christmas, pick one negative thought, attitude, or idea that impedes your joy in this season and reflect on how you came to hold that notion and how you continue to perpetuate it and what you get out of it. It was at that point that what am I getting out of this? I think I'm being cheated, but what purpose is that serving for me? And that's where I got in touch with this contest that I wanted to win every year. My goal now is to just get through the Christmas celebration without fighting with my sister over who's going to clean up the dishes afterward. And I am making progress. I'm making headway in that department. Well, I was blessed to right-size my Christmas preparations and stop competing in that imaginary contest. What blessing could you realize if you changed your thinking, raised your consciousness, or released some oppressive notion about this annual observance? Living in the power of the Christ presence gives you the power to eliminate any thought your mind holds. And as the saying goes, when you change your mind, you change your world. So our music team is going to help us prepare for meditation today with a true Advent hymn. There aren't many. Lots of Christmas songs that talk about Jesus being born tonight, but this next song is a song of anticipation and preparation. So I offer it to you as an Advent affirmation.
That mourns
as we move deeper into meditation, I invite you to take a deep belly breath and release it by exhaling completely. Inhale again, filling your lungs with air. Then as you exhale, relax. As you continue to breathe, be aware of the inflow of cool, fresh air, followed by the release of warm, moist air as you exhale. Imagine how many times a day you repeat this simple exchange, breathing in and breathing out, receiving each life-giving breath and expelling the used air you no longer need in order to make room for your next inhalation. This is the rhythm of life, inhaling and exhaling, receiving and giving, accepting and releasing. All life practices some version of this cycle, incorporating and eliminating, taking in and giving out. And we breathe in truth. The Christ presence within fills me with faith, peace, joy, and love. I am all I need to be. I give what I have to offer. I receive all that supports my highest and best. I am one with Spirit in the silence.
We turn now to our spiritual practice of generosity. We're grateful for the many ways this center supports us in our spiritual growth. And we, in turn, are happy to support this center with our financial contributions and voluntary service. We're also grateful to those who have already put in place automatic weekly, monthly, or quarterly giving. Today, if you feel led, visit our website at unityofbloomington.org and click on the giving link. Today, if you brought a tithe or love offering with you, we invite you to place it in the singing bowl at the back of the chapel on your way out after the service. The singing bowl is also where you can leave your prayer requests, and prayer request cards can be found in the seat back in front of you. Join me now in speaking aloud our abundance affirmation. Together,
I am an abundant being living in an abundant universe. God is the source of my supply. I am not dependent on people or situations for my good. God is the source of my supply. I always have something to give, and I consistently give it. I expect the best, I give my best, and I now attract the best in every experience. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more trouble, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more trouble, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
And now we bless our abundance with these words. Together,
Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
And now I invite you to stand when able and join with me in saying our closing prayer. Together,
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is,
and all is well. In gratitude for our radiant health, please remain in place as we sing together, "Let There Be Peace on Earth."
Let peace begin with you, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant
Are you going to sing Deck the Halls?
Okay.
Are we singing Deck the Halls or are we